It just so happened that 2 years ago, when starting the agency, we started getting a flood of apparel and fashion clients. For some reason, a big pool of our clients are within the fashion space, which led us to become experts at marketing for these types of e-commerce brands. After a recent comment on one of my videos asking to make a video series on scaling different type of e-commerce brands, I'm back at you today with one of these videos, which is going to be about how would I be scaling a fashion e-commerce brand. So this is going to be more of a macro video where I kind of talk about some of the steps that I would take, some of the things I would focus on. Again, after scaling some of these brands over the last 12 months, like one of our brands that I've shared on the channel more than once, which we brought from $500,000 in a year in revenue to $1 million a year in rev over 12 months. So we helped them double their revenue over 12 months with some of the tips that, again, will be shared in today's video. With that being said, let's get straight to it. So the first thing I want to touch on is the product offering. When you look at a fashion brand, the difference between the fashion brand and a lot of these other industries is that you have a lot of SKUs. There are so many products that you have in your store versus a skincare brand that might only sell, let's say, 5 different products, or a consumer tech brand that might only have 1 product that they sell, right? So you are selling a bunch of different products, which means that you need to have some form of inventory for all of those. So logistically speaking, it's one of the hardest brands to actually keep up and running. But here's the thing, there will only be 3 to 5 products that will usually become your best sellers. So each fashion brand has a hero collection, if you may, of products that sell over and over again. For one of our clients, they have a specific ring. This is actually an accessories client that we have. They have a specific ring that for some reason keeps on selling. With current and with new clients, this is one of the best selling products. It's quite hard for you as a brand owner to really predict which product will hit the market that way. So what I recommend that you do is that once you first get started with the brand, or even when you start getting a little bit of traction, one of the main things you want to keep doing is testing new products. Get a very small sample size of products, put them up for sale, and then see how quick you sell out of these products. This is one of the best ways that we test products, again, with our clients. It just leads to brands being able to strategically focus down on, again, this core offering. So we've had the case in the past where one of our clients was under the impression that ads would only magnify the sales of products that were not already being sold organically. That basically ads would create product demand, which is not true. Anything that you do marketing wise besides organic will not create demand. It'll usually just enhance an already existing demand. So with that being said, you need to have already figured these core offering products out before you get into any ads. So kind of recapping this first point, you test a bunch of products at all times. The ones that sell out the quickest are usually the ones that will become part of your core offering. And then once you find out a few of these products, basically you want to trim down, I would say, in 2 stages. So you test, let's just say, 20 different SKUs. And then from the 20 SKUs, you find about 10 that sell out a little bit more than the others. So you trim it down to 10. And I can guarantee that from these 10, you can probably cut it back down to a 3 or 5, which really will exceed the rest in terms of performance. So once you figure out your core collection of hero products, you build new collections and product launches around these hero products. Think of brands like PSD Underwear as an example, which you look at a brand like that, have they really changed the recipe over the years? No, it's their single style of underwear that they keep selling the same, right? Their boxer briefs, which are some of the most popular products that they have. Have they had other products? Do they still have other products? Yes, but their boxer briefs are usually what sells the best. What are they doing to keep this alive and not just, keep selling the same blank canvas over and over? Well, they change the prints. They do partnerships with other creators. They create engagement, and these new collections bring hype around these hero products. Same thing that you could do as a brand, right? You get, I'm just gonna throw ideas right here, right? But let's say you have this hoodie that for some reason has an amazing, fabric. People just love it, right? People seem to be in love with your hoodie. Well, you just keep making more of that same hoodie with new prints, new designs, new colors, maybe even new materials, right? You just flip the script and try new things around this single concept. Another great example of a brand doing that is the Oodie, right? OODIE from Davey Fergardi, which essentially he's also running a YouTube channel making videos about his journey on building, a 7-figure, actually, I think it's probably an 8-figure right now, an 8-figure e-commerce brand. So with that being said, what do these guys do? It's a fashion brand. They have a singular product, which they've just made a bunch of variations over, and this is how they stay afloat. So this is the style of fashion brand that I would really focus on instead of focusing on having the most SKUs possible, right? So they have lots of SKUs, but only 1, 2, 3 core products that they just reuse in terms of different patterns. Third thing is the branding. Who do you appeal to, right? There's a bunch of niches that you can actually get to. I think Alex Hormozi made a video on that recently where he talked about building a no strip brand, and it seems like such a silly product, but he was branding it in a way that would appeal to entrepreneurs. It's the same thing when you build clothing. Who are you building clothing for, right? If you look at the hoodie, this is pretty much your average person, usually teenagers. There's actually a few different audiences that the hoodie could appeal to, but maybe going back to PSD underwear from earlier, where that brand, there's, you know, this core group of skaters, of streetwear, right? Because they align themselves a lot with these influencers early on. Sports athletes also, so they're very much into, as an example, basketball. A lot of basketball players are also, you know, supporting PSD underwear. So this is super important because, again, you don't want anybody to buy your products. You only want the people that you've made your products for. And for that to happen, it needs to be congruent with your messaging. So you focus on a single core group of persons. I would say, again, really niche that down. And depending on how much you price your products at, this should also influence the type of industry you go after, because as an example, advertising something for students might not be the best if you have a higher ticket product because they just won't be able to afford it. So you always got to keep that in mind whenever you pick what niche you go after. Then a bit of a subset point from that one is community building. So that is not only with your organic content, but also creating a Facebook group as an example around your brand, which I've seen a lot of brands do. Works amazingly well, and usually you can sell tons of products, and it works specifically good when you have new product launches. So if you work with launches, this is a great way for you to actually create engagement and pre-hype your community before you launch those up. If you don't want to have a Facebook group, you can do the same thing with VIP members through email and SMS. Great way to hype up your members when you have a fashion brand when it comes to new product launches. Kind of the fifth tip that I have for that is that you want to make sure that you also go on TikTok and send gifts to creators without expectations. I see that a lot. There is this sort of community of creators around a specific aesthetic that might fit your brand. You see, there's a lot of creators that are some form of lifestyle creators on TikTok, which they shoot kind of mini vlogs within 10 to 15 seconds of their daily lives. And they are fitting a very specific aesthetic. Those are the type of creators that you want to go after. You want to find creators that actually fit your specific brand image. You send them products and you just basically no expectations, and usually you'll be very pleasantly surprised. This is how a lot of these fashion brands are actually growing. They ship out these products to highly selected individuals who, again, fit that persona, and they just get them to include that for a very quick, second in one of these videos, and it just creates engagement. It creates engagement, and it makes people associate your brand with the exact style that you're going after. And the last tip with that is that based on the creators that actually respond back to that and potentially do well, even by just including you on some of these random videos, well, you want to include them into your UGC creator network. So you want to get them on more of a retainer basis, or maybe a pay-per-video basis, or maybe just give them a code or discounts, whatever that might be. But you want to get them on an agreement to start producing more content to fuel your organic strategy and to start running Spark ads from their accounts. So this is pretty much how I would start building a fashion brand from scratch as of right now. The question might be, what's next? Well, you would just keep scaling the same efforts that I shared in this video. You would be able to test more products at more scale, spend more on these ads, more products sent to creators, more UGC, so on and so forth. On that note, if you're an e-commerce brand or store owner watching this video and making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand, feel free to click on the link in the description down below and book in a very short demo call with our team so we can show you exactly how we implement some of these systems within our brands. On that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.